Hey there, everyone. I'm Lou Perez, your host of the Builder Upper Show, a podcast where we talk about everything in construction and trades. Now let's get into it. I would like to welcome our guest, Tony Zignego, HR and Safety Director of the Zignego Company. Tony, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing, Lo?
Doing wonderful. Thank you. It's Friday, can't complain. Looking forward to the weekend, hanging out with the family.
No, same here. Same here.
So I appreciate you joining us. I want to know everything about the Zignago company. So tell me all about it.
Sure. So we will be next season, 2024, will be our 70th in existence. So it was started by my grandpa, Pete, his brother, Vern. They then passed on to the second generation, my father and a bunch of uncles. And then I am part of the third generation of owners at Zignego. So right now we're three corporations: Zignego Company, who I work for. We are the road building side of things and the oldest of the three corps. And then we have Zignego Ready Mix, which was started in 1980. It has 6 permanent facilities in southeastern Wisconsin. And the newest is Z-Mix USA, which was an existing company, but they do portable concrete, kind of a cross between company and ready mix in the central United States. So everywhere, all the way from the Canadian border down to the Mexican border.
Incredible. Man, so many years and generations going into the company. Maybe we can unpack that a little bit. When did you get into construction?
So besides visiting job sites and stuff when I was a kid with my dad and grandpa, I worked on the road crew in college. And then after getting my master's in '09, started working a year round and became an owner and project manager in 2012. And currently am HR and safety director.
So you went down your own road then. No pun intended, of course, on the road work. I'm sure that the job experience was absolutely crucial to being in the position that you're in today. What do you love about your career? And maybe there's different times that you loved different things. And if you could touch maybe on a couple of what you loved in the past and what you love today, that would be great to know.
Sure. So I think why a lot of people get into construction is it's one of the few industries where you can see hour by hour, day by day, week by week. Can physically see what you're producing. If you're on a road crew, we don't do buildings, but we've had subcontractors or other contractors work on our job sites that are making, producing buildings. So you see the project. And when I was on the road crew, like as a laborer, for example, you would see a job and you'd be there every day for 2 months. Then you might not see that job for 2, 3 months, until you get to the next phase of construction. And when you would get back to that job site, look completely different. And traffic's on the other side, and that's you could take a deteriorating piece of infrastructure and turn it into something useful. I think is what inspires so many people about road construction. And I think anybody who is has family in road construction, we all subject our loved ones to stories of, you were a part of this project or that project or this roadway or a park or whatever a particular company does. And so my wife and children are long suffering hearing tales of stuff, that we've worked on, that Zignego has worked on. So, but it's cool.
No, that's great. How many kids do you have?
I have three, so I have 9 and 7, and then twins are 7.
Oh, wow, you have twins too. That's great. So
Yeah.
sharing the stories that dad did that road and dad worked there, and I'm sure that those are proud stories to share with them.
Yes, so they get excited, and they don't understand the letting process, but they are often, if it's a bumpy road, they always say, "Well, can you just rip that up and make it concrete?" So they're fully committed on the concrete thing.
You drive over a pothole and then the kids are like, "Come on, dad, can you go fix that for us
Yeah,
real quick?"
yeah, yeah.
I love that. Okay. So is there anything that you wished you knew when you started?
I think going back, 15 years or so, I think my conception was you would become a subject matter expert, meaning you would know all things about all processes,
Mm.
and that the process, the physical process, was all encompassing because a lot of my uncles, were extremely knowledgeable. They had grown up in the business, maybe even more so than my generation, and they had gone through the same process of working on the road crew, and then um, taking a number of different positions as they moved into management. So I think that stayed with them. So they were extremely knowledgeable, the second generation, and I think the subject matter, while important, wasn't all is not all encompassing. There's a lot of other things. It's not just the technical aspects, of the road building. So we have, as an ownership group, we have some people that are in the field more, some in the office, some do a combination of jobs therein. So yeah, so I'd say that is kind of, if I knew back then what I know now. I think just the perception that it was, you could learn and then kind of memorize it. But yeah, it's a constantly evolution. It's constantly evolving process, and you look to get better each day, each week, each year.
Absolutely. The experience alone just it makes it that much easier over time, probably going back and what you were doing in the beginning. That's definitely for sure. Do you guys have a lot of employees that work for you?
Yeah, so a lot of our employees, even the many, a lot of the Zignegos, we have a lot of employees that they are siblings. We've had mother son, we've had husband wife, we've had and various other family members. So pretty much everybody knows each other. Maybe not necessarily by last name, but everybody knows each other. We pride ourselves on having a strong culture, and basically everybody has their niche at Zignego, and works hard, and hopefully makes us a successful company.
I love that it's so family oriented. Everybody knows each other. What do you guys do for fun as far as like for your workers and everything like that?
So we have, last couple years, we've done some supervisory events. So last year we did an event at Hellfair Field, right next to AmFam Field, by the Brewer Stadium.
Oh yeah.
We rented that out for a couple hours, and we did a kickball game and tailgate and whatnot. We've had some, like, thank you for foremen and supervisors again. We've had that event. And then looking ahead to 2024, we are looking to do some online spiritware, some Zignego dabs. So we'll be giving everybody like a code, all employees a code, and then they can go on the website and get, whatever type of Zignego gear they want. Some guys are very particular, and you wouldn't think it in a construction company, but some guys are very, very particular and can be fashionistas, and they have to have their high vis a certain way. Or, some guys love hats, some guys don't care about hats. So we have wide range, of interest. So we're going to do that for employees in 2024, kind of going into our 70th season.
You'd be surprised when they kick off the work boots what kind of apparel they want to put on then, huh?
You never know.
No, that's really good, and it sounds like your workers stay really happy. It seems like you guys have a great retention for your employee base, which is awesome. So you guys are definitely doing something right over at Zignego. I know that getting workers, especially the younger workers, is getting tougher with each passing day. Do you guys do anything, unique or new, or how do you recruit new workers to come into construction?
So the majority employees, probably about almost 75%, are employed at Zignego. They're employee referral. So they're referred by a current Zignego employee. And whether they're related, or they knew them from a previous job, or they know them from their community. And so we have that. And we've also brought in some people from some of our associations, like ABC, American Builders and Contractors of Wisconsin.
Mm.
We've done some events. We had an open house this January of 2023 with some community organizations and ABC. So we've done a number of different things. Employee referrals are by and far our most successful, and yeah, so that is the most reliable form of recruitment. As far as retention, we have a very low turnover rate from
Mm.
year to year. As far as compensation, we pay about the top of in our industry. So it's, we always tell new employees it's tough work, but it's hard work, and tough and hard work, but you're paid extremely well. And so once our employees, get to a certain proficiency level, obviously, then we kind of look to promote from within. And so if somebody starts off as a labor or truck driver, they have a number of different paths, whether it be concrete finisher, heavy equipment operator, foreman. So kind of like the ownership side of things, non-family members at Zignego have a variety of different paths based on where they start. Most people started off as either a labor or a truck driver. So it's hard work, but it's also, like I said, we're at the top end of the pay scale in our industry, and yeah, and so we maintain high standards, and we also pay well. So it's, in general, it's a very good mutually beneficial setup here at Zignego.
So it sounds like you have programs built in to help broaden the experience and help them move up.
Yeah, so for laborers or truck drivers, you within the first 3 years, I would say, if somebody's showing promise, our foremen and supervisors will identify that individual, and they'll let myself and the operation side know, hey, so and so has some potential and an interest in a particular trade, whether it be operating or concrete finishing. We then talk to that individual, and we talk to them about becoming an apprentice at ABC. And so our normal season is roughly Easter, Thanksgiving. So in the wintertime, just put together our schedule for our apprentices with ABC. But typically they attend classes like 2 weeks in December, break for Christmas and New Year. And then after New Year, they have 2 weeks of classroom in January. And then for the equipment operators, they do some hands on work late February and March. So it times out perfectly to get some education. They get paid to go to school. For the operators, they get some hands on. The finishers do it at WCTC, Waukesha County Technical College.
Oh yeah.
And we actually have two of our foremen actually teaching each of those class respective sections. So one of our foremen, grading foreman, helps with the hands-on portion for the equipment operators, and our paving superintendent actually is in charge of the classroom and the hands-on finishing at ABC. So and that's not just for our employees, that's for other companies, are in attendance for that as well.
That whole structure kind of speaks to your business. If employees are referring people to bring in to work for you, that means that they're really happy, right? That's kind of like the overall consensus. You're not going to bring in a friend if you know that it's a terrible place to work. So if you're bringing somebody in, you know that it's a great place to work. So that speaks a lot about what you're doing behind the scenes to keep all your employees moving up in this world. So props to you guys for getting that set up. That's great.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's I was gonna say it's a matter of pride. So a lot of times, if a new applicant comes across via email, we went to all electronic during COVID, the applications. So
Hmm.
I'll see that, the following morning, I'll get a text or a phone call from a current employee and say, hey, so and so applied, but I only kind of know them by association. I don't really know them that much, so I can't really vouch for them. Or they'll say, no, this person, we work side by side, and this person I want to. And the reason is, in construction, you want, if somebody is not performing their job duties as optimally as possible, that just makes everybody else work that much harder. And crew morale is a huge thing for us. Crew morale can suffer. So people are very particular about who they refer or don't refer. So it's a matter of pride for them, and because it's their reputation. And we do have some employee referral reimbursements for the current employees that refer the newer ones. But I'd say more than anything, it's really it's a pride thing, and they want to have people that are hardworking and dedicated. Working, whether it's on their crew or another crew within the company.
So they have kind of like that team mentality. You can almost like compare it to sports, right? If somebody's slacking or anything like that, I'm sure your guys are up to par. You got the best of the best. They're on the A team. They're going to get the job done. And if anybody's kind of slowing up, I'm sure that they'll bring them up and make sure that they're getting the job done. So I mean that speaks to the workforce. I mean, it sounds to me like you guys probably hire some great people to work there, and it's I mean your business success kind of also says it all, right? You guys are successful because of the workforce that's making you successful. So that's definitely you're putting the right people in the right place. you probably have a really good quarterback and an O line pushing the way so that you guys can score the wins that you need to score. So
No,
that's great.
exactly. And I always say in on the management side, it's as a quarterback, you have to sense the pocket around you. You know when to move, when to get rid of the ball. But our field employees are our eyes and ears. They are the people out there every single day on job sites, and they are the ones producing the physically doing the work. So no, we've been very blessed over the years and currently with the workforce that we have.
Do you guys use any technology within your company?
So what we do is I started this. My uncle started this actually. Newsletters. So we started 10, 15 years ago. He did it maybe once every 6 weeks on average. I do it for a number of years. I did about once every 2 weeks. Now it's every week. So it has a section on safety, a section on any openings that we have, job openings, and it also has the crew, what's going on the job. So it has different project. It'll have information. So if we reach a certain milestone, you get to a certain phase or stage in a job or one project our work has wrapped up on, and it's now finish up work for a subcontractor. We let the employees know because in any given year we might have anywhere from a dozen to 20 different projects. So some employees might only see 3 or 4 jobs. Some employees might see 15. It all depends which crew they're on. But a lot of times, if an employee is on a particular job, they want to know, hey, what's going on this job? What's going on that job? So there's a lot of that from our workforce, because they care and they want to know what's going on different projects that they may or may not have seen. So we like to communicate that. And then as far as technology, a lot of people have the perception that construction is, it's a dirty, gritty type job, which is often, but technology is, in every part of it. So from GPS, our heavy equipment side of things, GPS technology, to our shop with a lot of the computerization of our equipment. Obviously, here in the office, project managers and the accounting side of things are constantly using technology. All of our foremen have either laptops or iPads to record hours on,
Hmm.
and so we encourage that, and that is kind of their daily log, day in, day out at here at Zignego, as far as reporting quantities and whatnot. And yeah, so we're constantly using technology in construction, and increasingly we've tried to showcase that when we do have job openings and whatnot.
Modernizing the way that you go about using technology, it definitely can help with project management, moving things forward, handling multiple jobs at once, more than the usual. You can't do everything on paper and pen anymore, that's for sure, and even keeping
Right.
track. And I like that you guys do the newsletter. It shows that you offer transparency on what's going on within the company. You guys are
Right.
open. That's awesome. So it's great for your workers to keep in the know. And do you focus on inclusion within the workforce?
Oh yeah. So I've been part of ABC's inclusion committee for the
That's
last
great.
couple years. We've had a couple of events out in this year was out in Pewaukee. Actually, the last 2 years it's been out in Pewaukee. So it hits kind of the Metro Milwaukee area. So no, so I mean that group meets monthly, at least monthly, and so we have a big push for that. And Zignego in this season became, actually a majority minority company. So we have a very diverse workforce in a number of different areas. And I know we're proud of that. And I think, again, the strength or the reason that works, the inclusion model works, is because, you keep it merit based and you look for the best, you recruit the best, you retain the best. And, it's given back to you by your employees, is what we found.
That's really important. And I think that a lot of companies can, if they focused on that as well, the same way that you do, they would definitely see the fruits in that labor. Where do people find Zignago? So where do they find you?
Sure.
Where do you guys do business, I guess?
We
Is it
as far as
specific areas?
Sure. So yeah, so Zig Company, we are state of Wisconsin. We'll
Okay.
go wherever the work is in the state of Wisconsin. Zignego Ready Mix is centered around Metro Milwaukee, so 6 locations, kind of in a triangle between Kenosha, Richfield, and Madison, east side of Madison. And Z-Mix is everywhere from central United States, basically. But easiest thing to find any one of the 3 corporations, just go to zignego.com, and there is actually a box. You can click each of the respective companies. For applicants, you can go to www.zignego.com/careers, or there's employment opportunities. Either one of them takes you to the exact same location. It will ask you a couple prompts if you were an applicant, and it will, basically verify you're applying to the right company. So they have some questions in that, and then you can actually, for Zig Company, you can actually read about the different positions that we typically have. So truck driver, mechanic, construction labor, and so on and so forth. So you can read a brief description about what the position entails. And like I said, the prompts will take you employment opportunities or careers. Either way, it takes you to the same spot. And the application is hopefully pretty easy to complete. And then I get an electronic copy as soon as it is submitted by the applicant.
I like that you shared all the HR side of things, right? You need to recruit, bring them in. Zignago pays top pay. Sounds like they have a lot of opportunities. Take advantage. And I think my last question to you would be, for anybody new in construction, owner or employee, doesn't matter. Do you have any advice to share with them with all your experience? Any advice as they get started in the construction industry?
I think at the end of the day, your integrity and your reputation is what you have. So always be true to that. Don't compromise that. Do the right thing. Follow the laws. And like I said, with our employees, it'll be given back to you, and then some, is what my late uncle, who was the president, Peter, would always say. So do the right thing. Don't compromise your integrity, and you'll hopefully be successful. But more importantly, at the end of the day, you live with yourself, and you hold yourself accountable. So that's kind of our guiding principle. One of our guiding principles, and hopefully, that makes us successful. But like I said, at the end of the day, being a good person, being a good team player, that's what you can control.
Those are good principles to have. And thank you for being a guest on the show. And everyone, please like, subscribe, comment, and share the Builder Upper Show with anyone in the construction industry. We will see you next time. Thank you.